Mhm.
Okay, so very good evening from India. Wishes to all the participants who have joined us for yet another exciting session, exciting interaction, I would say, on the theme, which is probably, I would say, the most important one in current scenario. And on behalf of all my students, audiences, faculties, management, I extend my heartfelt welcome to my friend who has joined from Croatia, Professor Dr. Drazen Kapusta. Heartfelt welcome to you, sir, and thank you so much for accepting my invite and the topic, which is very, very close to your heart, Neo Entrepreneurship for Neo World. Just for those audiences who have joined not a part of the GIBS, a quick talk about GIBS here. We are a pioneer business management institute from Bangalore, a south part of India, operational since the last 11 years with multiple programs. And IRE stands to be one of the flagship program with us, innovation, research, and entrepreneurship. And I'm so very happy to say that in the last couple of decades has
Yeah,
created
there
a
is something
fantastic
called-
ecosystem
Yeah,
for the budding entrepreneurs to start up their own business journey. And I always say this as a business school, it's our moral responsibility to nurture tomorrow's leaders, tomorrow's entrepreneurs, and IRE is doing all out in training, in nurturing, and we have seen a lot of successful entrepreneurs from IRE and setting up their own businesses doing very well. Uh, at IRE, we conduct a lot of programs in campus, online, and IRE Talks podcast. There are multiple programs that we do. And in the last 2 years, after we started this Department of International Relations, I'm ensuring that we have one international guest every month who talk about the topic which is so very much important and need of the hour. And I'm so very happy to make a formal announcement that GIBS Business School had officially partnered with Business School, Croatia, very recently, all thanks to today's speaker, Dr. Drazen. And I was able to connect him, requesting him for this session. And yes, without hesitation, he accepted my invite, and I'm so very happy and glad. Once again, extending my heartfelt welcome to you, Professor Drazen. And yep, the stage is all yours.
So, hello to all of you. I'm very pleased that I have opportunity today to speak. Uh, we recently started cooperating with GIBS, and I'm really looking forward on what will future hold. So, this is one of probably my favorite topics, entrepreneurship, because I was like, and still am entrepreneur for almost 40 years.
Right.
So let's start by saying some things about myself. I'll try to share my screen. Yeah. Do you see my screen?
Yes, the screen is visible, Prof.
Okay. So something about me. I have residences in multiple countries. Recently, last years, we developed our own leadership framework, which Professor Guru is also involved in this development recently. It is framework specifically designed for the Neo world, and I will tell you what is the Neo world. And yeah, what is also interesting about me, I have some different publications which you can read maybe on LinkedIn or different media. I'm advising some bodies like UN and European Union. And for last 10 years, I'm also in technology business. This is very important for the new era because those technologies are blockchain and AI, which, yeah, we will see next 10 years will change the world. About Kotruli, we are leading business school in Southeast Europe. We are expanding our reach globally. Do you still see my screen? Right.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay. So with this cooperation, like with your school, we have different programs like Executive MBA, our new one, Vanguard MBA, Chief Executive DBA. We are accredited by Association of MBAs. We also have the first business museum in the world, where we study business from 5,000 years in history till now. And we will very be happy to, let's say, collaborate with similar venue in Bangalore. My technology company is mainly in blockchain. We develop our own blockchain. We are in many different EU-funded projects. Most significant one is IRE, which is like biggest project in European history, building European cloud edge continuum. And now in the next phase is AI phase, where we plan to unify this cloud edge continuum with AI factories in order, let's say, to bring Europe better sovereignty and efficiency, hopefully. So, okay, let's go to my presentation. Just a second. Yeah. So, as I said, my favorite topic is entrepreneurship, and you are mostly in the audience, I hear now, in your early 20s, and usually the question is what I'm going to do after graduation. And from this and next year, the answer is more complex and more exciting than it was before, you know. The whole choice was always like, should you get a secure job, or you should maybe become entrepreneur, you know. So what I like to say to the people, you know, imagine like a ratio of wealthy entrepreneurs and wealthy managers. You know, they're like 10 to 1 to entrepreneurs. But okay, you will say the job path is more secure. Of course, you are right. But now you have a choice, and I will explain why you have a choice, why you can have a both, and why both is feasible. You can start, of course, with a job and add a business. You can move between them, and you can do both at the same time. And why? Why? Always is the question why. Because now these days it's very easy to start a business. You don't need practically capital. You have a computer. You have a network. You have problem to solve. You can start building MVP very cheaply with AI. You can build now these days a website application in one day if you have the right problem to solve. And what is the other perspective? This safe part of getting the job is unfortunately not safe as it was in the whole history of humankind. Why? Because of AI automation. You know, it's, let's say, going into entry level jobs faster than ever. You know, companies are hiring fewer people and expecting more output, more efficiency. And maybe, okay, you will say this will not happen in next few years, but yeah, of course. But what this mean like in 5 years? And we try to teach you to be prepared for the future which will unfold. And most likely, most certainly, I would say the future will go in this direction, that less and less entry jobs will be needed, less and less middle jobs will be needed. For jobs on the top, of course, there will always be the space, but you should hedge your risk. So in this year and year we are entering in 26, I will repeat, the cost of experimentation has dropped nearly to zero. You know, now everybody can build website, everybody can be designer, everybody can post on social media, and everybody can practically build an app, you know, and you have to seize opportunities while you are. still in a school, and to at least try to develop this entrepreneurial mindset. If you don't think in this direction, this will not happen. If you don't have intent, this will not happen. But if you think about it, you will see that this could be the smart play. So don't choose between a job and entrepreneurship. Do the both, or even consider both. Build a career, give you the freedom to move, adapt, and seize opportunity as they arise. Uh, yeah, this is like the biggest advice. It's hard to teach people to be entrepreneurs, but it is like training. You need to practice it. You need to work hard. But it all starts with intent. If you don't even want to try it, then it's not possible. So, what is Neo world? So, why this is so important? The Neo framework, we put around three forces which will shape the world, but also your career. And this is networked, exponential, and orchestrated. So I will tell you something about exponential, which is probably the biggest, let's say, challenge for all of us people. So we have these technologies which are exponential, like AI, and they are growing exponential. And we have us, and we are people. And in best case scenario, we can grow only in a linear way. So how to find some asymmetric approach? We can find it if we are able to orchestrate, let's say, more people and put them in networks. And this together, if you combine all three working together, this can serve as we call force multiplier. So, what is good with India? India passed this Lafrock moment, and while other countries need to adopt to Neo era, I think India have some advantage, and because you are practically already working and living in Neo. So in all world, the power come from the position, and yeah, this will be in a new world. But what we are now exploring is your position in the new world. And if you build a network based on trust, this network, in this network, you don't need to be like in this hierarchy level, and we will explain this later. Uh, it's practically about exchanging value between different members. I will give you an example. You have your colleagues in university now. If you form like a mastermind group at the beginning, like five people, 10 people every week, you gather, you talk about business, exchanging ideas, for maybe 1 or 2 hours, and you will see how many possibilities and opportunities can arise. And what was my plan to offer you, and what I speak with Professor Guru, is maybe if you form such a network, like say 5 people or maybe more, then you can come also to Croatia to some of our classes, and maybe I can help you online with exploring your ideas and trying to turn them into ventures. Yeah. So exponential. This is what I already mentioned. Yeah, technology is growing like it's growing. We people, yeah, we can't grow so fast. Some say, in 27, we will come to AGI points. Some say in 2030 or something. It doesn't matter, but in some point of time, AI will become smarter and maybe even, like most people in this field says, even powerful than human. And this never happened so far in a human history. So at least we should prepare to do our best in these scenarios. So orchestrated, what does it mean? This is like, imagine this case is like Uber or Airbnb, where they orchestrate other resources from other people. They don't own nothing, but they orchestrate. So imagine like uh, I know the case of Changiri or something like. There is an app in India. In They started, I think, 2018, and then they pivot in 2021 on crypto. And okay, they are doing something, but what they orchestrate creators, to post some, I don't know, content. And yeah, they didn't put so much investment. That they start with offering crypto tokens for free. Also, if you know the case, much more successful case of Polygon, which is Indian blockchain. They are now worth 30 billions, and they start very poor and manage to orchestrate a lot of resources around them and people to come to this point where they are now. So we have some sort of action plan for people who are more interesting about this topic. So we start with sort of audit, to see where you are now, what you want to do with your life, which path. So, for instance, if you just want to stick to management part, okay, it's up to you. But if you want to explore like entrepreneurship and building and creating, we are here to at least to help you with some preparation. This is what come to the audit, but we have like all documents to one who want to participate more in this. Basically, start with the networks. What networks do you have? You have some friends, you have some family, you have some online communities. You are you think about what value can you provide, what expertise, what you have now, yeah, what skills can you develop, what can you build that has minimal marginal cost. And now these days something digital, practically you can build anything with none cost. And what is important, what is your leverage points exponential in your field. Then you think what resources exist around you and how would you coordinate them without owning. So then we have some of us are shy. We don't want to build in public, but this can be useful. If you post what you build, then you also get instant, let's say, social presence. You might get attention from some potential clients, and at least you practice this public, you will get the feedback from more people. Yeah. What is important, like I say, entrepreneurship, yeah, it's like work, it's like craft, it is like art. In my opinion, is the most significant art of all, because you can build creation significant to all mankind, and at least you can also make of a lot of money. So I think at least it's worth trying to everybody, and yeah, like you go to the gym, you need to work. You want to, let's say, run triathlon. You have to practice. This is the same as entrepreneurship. You have to be willing to try and then try, and we are here to help you if you want. So this is some questions. And this is something for the, yeah, let's say the end, but we also have some quizzes and we can do, yeah, imagine this for the end. In India, you have probably the best payment system in the world, like better than Europe and US. You have the market which is growing so fast. I remember when I was first time in Bangalore, maybe 20 years ago, and how things change from then. And yeah, you are like people now look on China and see like number one country in the world. I think that India have a very, very good potential to go in this direction, and we want to be present there and help what you want. If some of you are considering entrepreneurship career, we have this Vanguard MBA program which is online. We can spare like 5 seats for maybe Indian students fellowship for free, or maybe in some cooperation with professor. It's up to you. We can discuss this. But yeah, now is the time to make decision. And this decision. Should I think about entrepreneurship? Should I try it? For me. It's very simple. You should try it, and this is my suggestion. Maybe now we can go with some questions, or maybe if you want, we can proceed. Maybe you have some feedback for me. Yeah.
There are a few questions posted relating to that. With your permission, I can take it up. There's one here. Is Neo Entrepreneurship more opportunity driven or problem driven?
What is the first thing? Second is problem, and what is the
opportunity? Is it more opportunity driven or problem driven?
It is more like philosophy driven. You know, you should choose a path. You know, if you choose a path, there are all different aspects, but you have to just try. Okay, you can say, I need the right opportunity, I need the right problem, but you first, like triathlon, first you need to decide, I will go for it. And then you need to have a right framework and right, let's say, tutors. And we are here to, let's say, frame you to this new era. You know, new era is so different because you know in all history of man humankind, you know, we were people working with the people. You know, and now you will have very soon that AI agents will work with AI agents, and they are efficient. They are not emotional. You know, they are like, uh, uh, yeah, efficient is the right word. You know, so this emotional stuff, marketing and sales, and how we communicate, is becoming maybe less important in the future than is now. Okay, you can still say in next 3, 5 years we as people will have competitive edge. Of course, you're right, but now is the time to prepare yourself to be, let's say, in this small group, which will be able to work with AI in, let's say, better than others. You know, this is what is approach. So you have to first come from, let's say, philosophical approach. Uh, we have this own philosophy which we draw from Cotruli, you know. So practically, all philosophy is totally opposite to that Machiavellian, you know. And I have also article about wolf, shepherd, and sheep, you know. So imagine like you are choosing the part. So Machiavellian part, practically, this is the wolf part. You can be more successful being a wolf, of course. But in Neo era, trust is becoming very important. So being good and being part of the orchestrated network, this means that trust is very valuable. You know, a network recognize the wolf patterns and expel them from the network. You know, it's very okay. Wolf can be always good in manipulated sheep. You know, but we, let's say, try to train people to be sorts of shepherds, you know, to understand that having the network, having ability to orchestrate the trust in the network can be very useful for this era in which AI in people should, in ideal scenario, live in symbiotic way, you know. Remember, you know, we predict that AI will become more powerful. So we try to seek for a symbiosis which will work in our favor. Yeah. I'm
Great.
not sure. Yeah.
I'll take up the second question.
Of course.
Are business models becoming shorter lived in the neo economy?
Uh, okay, wait. Are business models
Becoming shorter lived.
shorter lived?
Yeah, shorter lived. I mean, are they becoming shorter in the neo
Yeah,
economy?
they are changing. They are changing.
They're changing, yes.
They are evolving. You can't be stuck. You have to iterate. Especially in entrepreneurship. You have to see what works for you, what works in, let's say, in your neighborhood, in your company, in your campus. It's localized stuff. But now these days is uh, so simple. You have abundance of information. You can see what is working somewhere. Maybe it's not discovered this model in India yet, and you can replicate. So you can iterate this model. You can test this model very cheaply. You just there's so much information that you just have to dig inside. And imagine if you're working in this alone, it's uh, it's not so easy if you have like mastermind group. Let's say 10 of us working together. We all have AIs. We all talk, discuss. Like instead of going to, let's say, gym 3 times a week, we are talking about business, and we want success. We will have in the past it was not so possible like now. So I will not even think about okay, I work in some sort of model which we know it worked in the past, and in management there are hundreds of different management models, but business is practically very simple. You have something, somebody want to buy it, you sell it to few customers, and you scale it. If you manage to scale it to few people, yeah, you have to then try to 30 or 300. It's not so complicated like it seems in the end. At least this entrepreneurship part, it's okay. It's more, of course, more complex if you look on a big business. For instance, we mainly speak with big businesses, and there are, in my opinion, some very good use cases what big business and corporations can look on to see how future will work for them better. For my one of my favorite cases Hire. Um, so maybe I can show you if you want. Oh, I don't need. So, for instance, Hire is the largest producer of white goods like refrigerator and this klima blah in the world. And what is why they are my favorite company? They have 4,000 micro enterprises. 4,000. And why this is important? Because these enterprises are owned by employees, 50% plus minus. Imagine like entrepreneurial drive of these employees, and this drive enable Hire to grow from 60 billion to 40 billion. This is for me like best top example of Neo framework deal for the Neo world. When you okay, and then you might think, okay, this can work only in China, this can work anywhere else. Yeah. But then you see some companies are trying to implement in similar stuff, what we are advocating, higher model. And for instance, Bayer is the good one. They have 90,000 employees, and they try to replicate something similar like higher. They call it dynamic process ownership, something like that. Yeah. So you want to involve people to share rewards and to be like to have opportunity to have this entrepreneurial spirit inside the organization. Imagine like creator spirit. This is, as you remember, I call this is like an art. It, better to consider yourself an artist than just worker. And if you have a chance, probably not of us are, let's say, meant to have this role, but in a team of 10, then you can share different expertise, and all together you can create substance and which can allow this your community to, let's say, develop different businesses. Let's say a hire and buyer. This is like very good examples of the models we prefer. So for the big companies, and for the small, yeah, not stick to any model. Just decide first, build awareness that you can, then you decide, then you act. Massive action, iteration. This is the what is needed. And AI augmentation. Yeah, AI in every step of the process is needed. Yeah.
Great. Uh, this is a interesting question. Interesting meaning,
Mhm.
you are the right person to answer this, considering your immense experience, for a long experience in entrepreneurship. What
Mhm.
mistakes do young entrepreneurs commonly make when entering the Neo world?
Mhm. They will make all sorts of mistakes, because it's imagine like why people are going to business schools, like yours and mine, you know, uh, to avoid mistakes. Mistakes are very expensive, When you start as a young entrepreneur, okay, you can maybe you have some luck, you find some approach, you are making money, but you are making mistakes which you are not aware that you are mistake because your knowledge is very low. Imagine like which type of knowledge you can have after 40 years. And if you can go back in time, everybody will be like billionaires if you can just avoid mistakes. So there are all sorts of mistakes. Uh, you can have mistakes also with wrong relationship with the partners. Everything is going well when you have money, but yeah, over years, people are change. So what? So there are like thousands and thousands of different mistakes which somebody can make. But yeah, probably the biggest mistake what you can make is the one to give up. To give up. You know, they are like failures. But if you are alive, if you have willingness to fight, you always can try again. Give up is the biggest, and this is very common mistake because entrepreneurship is very hard. That can be very rewarding, but it's not simple. Maybe let's say 80% of the initial ventures fail. You know, that's why it's very good if you have a right, let's say, mentor or somebody who can teach you. Imagine like you have like five successful entrepreneurs, millionaires in your mastermind group, and you. So what you increase your chances like 100%. Then if you have like four, let's say you are like five students and you have nobody to teach you. But now these days you have AI, and AI is even now more smarter than most PhDs and entrepreneurs. So and if you build these AI augmentation capabilities, you can bypass these things that you don't have millionaire entrepreneurship friends. But in other hand, what I advise, you have to think about what will be ideal people who can mentor you, who can guide you in your career. You should find access to those people because this type of people, let's say like me, always seeking for the young people who want to dig, to do the hard work, and which are smart, and you have to present yourself to those people, and this can work in your favor. If you have a perfect mentor at the beginning, this increases your chances exponentially. So working alone is can be good and rewarding, but it is maybe harder approach for the first venture and to building these entrepreneurial capabilities you need to build inside, So yeah, imagine like you want to, okay, you decide I will not go to entrepreneurship. I want to be like MMA fighter. Oh, yeah, okay. Everybody can be probably MMA fighter, but imagine how much you need to train, which kind of trainers you need, what amount of time you need to spend, and which kind of training partners you need to have. So it's hard work, and this work depends on the people around you. If your trainer is not good, if you don't want to train, and there are all sorts of things in play, similar like entrepreneurship.
Uh, you've been speaking a lot on the neo entrepreneurship, the
Mhm.
neo world. You've been doing a lot of research on that. So I find this a very apt question at the moment. What are the biggest differences between traditional entrepreneurship and neo entrepreneurship?
Yeah, the biggest, there are like, I have it booked, there are like three singularities which I'm approaching, which are very complicated to explain, but I will. Okay, geopolitical situation is very important. From this year, it changed so much like never in history. What we will see next 5 years will change like whole perspective on how we see the world. And yeah, this is mainly with these forces. China become again, and China was from practically most of the history of mankind. China was number one economic force in the world, and now becoming again probably very soon or even now is the biggest military power. And what we have in US, they have very smart government now. Let's say people who are running US are very smart, determined group of people, and they have their own agenda, and China have their own agenda, and Europe have agenda, and India have agenda. And if you know about these agendas, you will understand that world will change a lot. And then you can't do anything about it. So let's not talk about things what we can't influence. But biggest important is these exponential technologies like AI, robotics, blockchain, and future quantum, which will change the way how we live and work. They will allow efficiency, which was unprecedented in the past. They will make knowledge practically abundant and free and accessible to everybody. So I think everybody predicts, there will be more people on the top and more people who will not be on the top. And I believe that everybody have a window of, let's say, 3 to 5 years, because, let's say, in the land of the blind, with one eye, you are the king. So you have a 3 year at least window to uh, equip yourself with the right skills, with the right networks, and everything to be ahead of the most of the people. This is a like unprecedented opportunity. I think bigger than when internet came. Because it's the make starting business very easy. Making global networks very busy. If you look on these cases of Polygon, how they make 30 billion valuation very fast, and very lot of Indian successful companies. We are like in, let's say, land of opportunity. We have this window, we have to seize it. For those who are interested more, I would like to, let's say, have a group of five your students to work with them more closely, to, let's say, teach them, and also to all who want. I will share the book in of about three neo singularities. We also built. You have to dig deep to that. It's very complicated topic, you know. Did you saw the movie Matrix?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Let's figure out this. Imagine like I'm Morpheus, you know, and you are Neo. And now I tell you, Neo, you enter the Matrix, and you would say, "What is Matrix? What is this Morpheus telling me?" You know, it's very complicated to understand this subject. So, let's say this book should, let's say, make you clear that world is changing and how, and we are something completely different than in past. So, when you, let's say, accept this or not, if you see that world is changing, that then you need different tools to fight in this world. Fight for what? For your prosperity, for your wealth, for your family. You know, to have, in simple words, more money and in this world. So that's why we developed this model of vanguard leadership, which, let's say, train people to uh, build businesses, manage themselves in this world. It will be completely different. Not not
Well,
not immediately, not obvious to everybody, but if you see this true, that you can have some advantage than others. This is simply.
in the mindset of a neo entrepreneur,
Mhm.
how do you see success and failure?
You know, the in business success can be easily described. You know, like where we go back to this that business is ultimate uh, art. You know, so it's creation. So how you can measure creation? You can measure it in two ways: how much money you make, or how much impact you make to society. You know, those are two simple measures. So if you are making thousands, you are successful in one level. If you're making millions, you are successful in one level. Imagine if you're making billions, you are successful in different level. If you help or change the life of 1,000 people, you are also successful in one level. If you manage to do that in 100,000 people, so it can be easily quantified. And failure is, let's say, most common word to old entrepreneurs. You know, ratio between success and failure is very important. You know, maybe I try five things and maybe just one is successful. Maybe I can try 100 things and just one is successful, and still this one is good enough. You know, like I told you before, it's just important that you are alive, that you want to do it, and you don't give up. And and what maybe is very good thing, what uh, one of, let's say, my mentors uh, taught me like 20 years ago. He was like a billionaire and dean of IMD Business School. You know, he didn't need to be a dean, but he liked this stuff. And he told me, okay, most important rule is to learn how to eat more shit in life. You know, if you know how to eat shit, yeah, it will be easy because the world and life will always throw shit on you, and this is, you have to, let's say, be resilient. You know, you have to have your purpose, make your decision, and just go for it. This is what I think. And even if you try and you are living and you didn't reach like thousands and millions and whatever, you are still successful because you didn't give up. And if you not give up, you have a chance. But imagine, like, that's why Neo is important. Now you have opportunity to not do it alone. You know, it's much easier when you have a network. You know, it is, you don't have to be a lone wolf like in past. You know, and this is very important because in network, orchestrated network with augmented with AI, it's much easier, you know. So you want to use leverage as much as possible, you know. Imagine like uh, imagine how much you and me are strong. Imagine like 20 of us. When we pull something, it is much easier than somebody do it alone. Leverage is very important word in Neo. Yeah.
What, according to you, the five biggest strengths that a neo entrepreneur should have in him or her?
Yeah. So what if you you know some know more stuff about Wanger leadership approach? So practically, it's not very different than this old ways of leadership. But we were studying a lot of history. You know, we have this business museum. You know, so history, business history, 5,000 years ago, and we also start wars. You know, so imagine like 20th century wars. We have asymmetric, hybrid, composite, dynamic, and now they are dynamic, and in future they will be neo. And if you study these wars, you are looking for let's say successful cases, you know, and then you realize that a lot of these approaches can be adopted to the business, and how last year's uh, wars involved very much, if especially if you look on case of Ukraine war, you know how things are involving there. We're using a lot of this in comparison. You know, you realize that you can draw certain parallels to the business, and mainly where in this area of like in wars are drones, autonomous drones, swarms in different tactics. So practically, AI is something what should be like your biggest leverage to use. AI in this current point. Number one will be AI. Then, when we discuss philosophy, you will see that even big companies like AI companies like Anthropic are increasingly becoming have this awareness of philosophy for in training AI agents. You know, so philosophy also allow you more critical thinking, you know, and critical thinking is becoming more and more important when you try to augment yourself with AI. And let's say critical thinking development is very important. The AI is very important, and in understanding all these aspects, what will be like neo in wars, what will be neo in finance, what will be neo in everything, what is practically neo, you know, let's say machines to machines, you know, this is the end thing, you know, AI agents will be more capable to lead AI agents and robots, you know, and so what is our purpose? So we need to be the ones who are leading those, you know, and how to enable yourself to be in this position is developing these different skills, what I just mentioned, you know. So yeah, and or just think about something more old-fashioned, you know, like land, agriculture, or some things which will be needed without technology. You know, blockchain and AI combined will be able to do a lot of stuff, you know. Yeah. I'm not sure. Maybe I didn't. Maybe you can ask if I didn't explain. I can iterate on that if you're not happy with the answer.
Will I take up the last question with your permission? Um, do you suggest the budding entrepreneurs to expand globally, or do you think managing businesses locally and elevation and expansion locally would be more beneficial?
You know, always you have to aim as high as possible. You know, but you need to start from something. Yeah, how you start? You have something and you sell to few most likely customers, and most likely customers are probably always somewhere around you, people you know. And and then if you manage to do that, you are going to the second step, how to sell this to more people in, let's say, your town or whatever. But India is such a big country and big population. You don't have to be very, let's say, innovative. Just look on concepts which probably still don't exist in India. And you might say, oh, everything exists. But always is something in China what you don't know. Always is something somewhere you don't know. And, and just seek for this stuff and try and iterate, But ultimately, end goal, dream for every entrepreneur should be like to be global one, because you will have more, let's say, more joy into in this whole thing if you manage, because always people will say, oh yeah, you are successful in India, but you are nobody in, let's say, globally. Always people respect more global success than local success, but practically you don't need to do it for respect. You do it because you have this purpose. As I mentioned, it's always important just to start, and if you work hard, if you build right network, if you have a lot of luck, you might strike success. And yeah, what we are seeking, maybe if you have 5 determined people, we can have like a small pilot for 1 month and see can we manage to achieve anything. It's important to try and start.
True, true. That's great. I think we come to an end of the fabulous, short but very impactful interaction, Dr. Rajan. I'm sure my students, my audiences had a great takeaways from the quick interaction, and the amount of questions that poured in that really says that it was very exciting. On behalf of all the audiences out here, I extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Drazen. It was such a privilege and honor to have listened to you. And as promised, I also love to make the statement in the public platform that we are exploring having Dr. Drazen in our campus in India very soon. And we'll be able to interact with our students on the subject that he loves the most. And we are also the institute which, are very keen on strengthening this program, especially on entrepreneurship. And the resource like you would definitely add on. Uh, it's definitely cherry on the top. So I certainly look forward to hosting you in my campus very soon. But otherwise, Rajan, this was a fantastic beginning to our association. And I'm sure we have a long way to go. We have a long way to go indeed. And once again, on behalf of my management staffs and all the students out here, very heartfelt thanks to you for the wonderful interaction that we had. A 30 seconds quick final message from you to my audiences.
Okay, just for the end, I'm not persuading everybody to be entrepreneur. This is very hard way, but just like think about this as a art. Seek for the managerial job, maybe do this as a hobby. This is like very simple start, which technology, mainly AI, these days allows. So take a shot, just create something. Yeah.
That's great. Lovely. Yes, for those who have not yet liked and subscribed us, please like us on all the social media platforms, GIBS IRE Talks, GIBS uh, Business School, and also a personal request to all of you, please do follow Professor Drazen on LinkedIn. He's a wonderful resource. His work is incredible, and it's indeed an honor to connect with him. And through the social media platform itself, we were able to link with Drazen, and look, we had a great association and a great interaction today. So yes, thank you so much, Drazen, once again for this lovely interaction. I look forward to many more in the coming days as well. For now, this is Professor Guru Prasad signing off, and thanks everyone for watching.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye,
Thank
Drazen.
you,
See you
everybody.
soon.
Bye bye. See you soon.